Amu, how you doing, my man? What's up? Just testing the stream, making sure I'm ready for Friday. Oh, Davey, I've not got that set up on here yet. I know. I need to get me sounds on this because I'm doing it on my PC. I want to make sure everything is ricky tick and ready. I want my points back. I'll kiss you later. Give it back that way. You stay right there, David. Oh, I don't want to kiss you right now. Why, you got the cold? Sicky stuff. Oh dear. I will keep my tongue to myself. Seems okay. What do we got? What do we got? Right. Let's have a look at sounds. Viewer attacks. Sound alerts. Actually, I don't know why that didn't. Oh, hang on. I ain't got sound attacks on here then, so I need to add that. Copy. Go in. Let's have a look at these sound attacks. Aha. There we go. Not seeing, looking at this chat. I'm just testing the chat on YouTube. Ah, Chase, sorry, bro. RF build is good. Oh no. Yeah. I'm just sorting my stream stuff out, mate. Just ready for Friday. What are you going for? To make sure. Shock Nova Elemental. Oh, okay, okay. This is why I want to do it on the PC, because I want to run with a proper clan if I can. Shock Nova Elementalist. Noted. Kinetic Blast seems to be like the top one at the moment. I very nearly thought I'm going to go Kinetic Blast Deadeye or something. I think the gear will just be way too expensive. Right, why can I not hear? Oh, I can. How did you end up getting on in Freesia? Are you struggling at one point? Oh, you run KB last league, did you, remote? Okay. How did you find it? Top end RF the same. Do you think it is? Pretty fun being playing a couple of leagues. Okay, so you sort of like you know what you're doing. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't got a in Scooby Doo in PoE 1, mate. Could make high end currency for the right gear because I don't understand PoE market for shit. Okay, yep. Running around with rags on. Itchy armpit. Oh, the Bog Shaman, yeah, that was his latest one, wasn't it? And dump more div into that. Really? Christ, okay. Maybe it's not the way. Maybe I'd just go Deadeye. Okay. Turn up the radio. Still new. He's still new. Radio. You want it all weekend, Chase? Can I hear that? The radio. Right. I can't hear that on YouTube, which is good. And I can on Twitch. Excelente. We're halfway there. Well, we're almost there. No drop frames. Fewer attacks are on. La, 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 la. How do we get rid of this chat box? Get rid of that. Okay. That. So I'll probably stream a little bit of PoE 2 tonight. I'm going to get some footage from a new video, and then Friday, obviously, all weekend, we will be PoE 1. Microphone sounds all right. That's it. Northern boys don't need sleep. That's what I've been told. Who's David in Discord then? So are you going Kinetic Blast this league then, Omo? I can hold. Okay. The new holy skills. Let's have a wee look. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be going totems, don't they, this league? Let's have a look. Glacial Hammer. I like the sound of that. Just turn this on. Right, okay. Kinetic Fusilier. Look at the state of this. Staying punky. Seems to be tanking. Let's have a look. Does look good. Why is this struggling? About made. The thing is with Righteous Fire, it has zero bossing capabilities, doesn't it? Yeah, it did look good, didn't it? The sweep skill. Higher is it? Oh, yeah, I'm doing this to myself. I know I'm going to end up going back to bow. No, workable. Let's see. kind of chat here. I did the volcanic fishes of snaking last time up to about level 90 odd. And I did enjoy that. I don't mind the warrior on this one. I feel like I want to give RF a go. I do. I give RF a go. Or do I just go straight bow? I don't know. What do I do? Yeah. Yeah. RF. I don't like it. Let's drop back into re-roll into bow. I was watching Pox though, and he likes to level with a wand. So I need a mule to get a wand and maybe an amulet with some mana. Or do I just tosh in? Literally driving now, but when I park, me and my squad are pulling up heavy to next stream. Yeah. Yeah, man. Hit that follow button. Let's connect. Point blank. What do we do? Exiles can't drive. I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. I think he's just fishing for members to join his Discord. The heavy squad. Found out, fuck around, find out on Friday. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to go for. I'm not going to lie, Chase put me off RF a little bit. A little bit. I don't want to get to the end game and have to pump an absolute shitload of currency into it. I'm a sucker for bow characters. Jace. So good. My keyboard is absolute. Oh, look what it's doing. Oh, okay. Hero. Okay. Okay. I like Rothko. Look at that. That looks ace, doesn't it? Hmm. Seen enough. I'm gonna get baited. Bet the league and I'm taking it. I think I've. It does look very fucking sweet. Is there any mandatory gear that you need? Uniques or anything like that? I don't have the desktop audio on YouTube just in case it picks anything up. Can I do it? That might work. That. Oh no. Oh no, that's Discord. No. Let me. Have a go. I think that's what this.
Archmage because Archmage is
Can you hear
super
that?
strong and very, very simple to scale. I have a couple trees here. I was
yeah.
thinking about how I was going to play this character as Hierophant, and I'll talk about a couple of the options. So normally when you play builds like this, you go for suppression. Suppression works really well because you have such a huge HP pool, and you have to go into the middle of the tree anyways. The middle of the tree is not really something you can skip as Archmage because there's so many good mana nodes like Dreamer, Dynamo, Battle Rouse, and you have these Light of Meaning and Unnatural Instinct slots here. So this is one of the best spots in the game for these type of builds because it hits so many good nodes here, like mana, AoE. The Unnatural hits all these nodes here, and then the Light of Meaning will also hit every node that you get from Unnatural. So the overlapping like circles here is just way too good not to go for. With that in mind, a lot of people go Suppression on Archmage characters because you also have a lot of Suppression near the middle of the tree. I was thinking that I would probably stay away from Archmage Suppression this time around though and go for more of a block tree with a Pledge of Hands. A couple of reasons for this. I think block is really, really good right now. And there's a lot of really good block nodes like pretty close by. Like we have Safeguard, we have Whirling Barrier, the Staff Masteries are also really good. 5% max mana per blue socket. I was thinking about using a Pledge of Hands. This is another 30% max mana from that. They're buffing Pledge of Hands to be 50% max, 100% max mana from 50. There's a lot of reasons to go Staff. And also, rare items are going to be harder to get. So it's going to be a lot harder to get those really, really good rare wands that you can get before. You'll still be doable eventually, but like early on especially, I think it's pretty hard to beat a Pledge of Hands. Pledge of Hands drops off normal Zeri, and it's a little 6-day requirement. So it makes a lot of sense to go for like a Staff block Pledge of Hands build, especially like super early on. If I'm playing SF, I'll probably end up farming it myself, but this seems like a pretty good early game option, and it'll probably last you until well past 4 stones.
Okay.
Obviously, eventually, I think you'll drop it in favor of a either dual wand setup or a wand shield setup, probably.
Dual wands.
Wands are just really, really good, especially if you have some sick profane wands like I have in this PoB here. This was my character from the Cropwest League, so I have some pretty good gear on this character. This is an actual character I had. There's a couple items here I want to talk about. First off, the Anathema is really, really good for this character. Since we're not playing like a Frostbolt ISO character, we have a lot of extra gem slots, and you can run like a Focus Helmet with 4 extra curses, along with Anathema, or Anathema, however you want to pronounce it. Really good on Hierophant because you get +4 charges, and yeah, I mean...
So this is what you're going for, Chase?
You just get 4 curses. The hard part is actually casting them. There's a couple ways to do that. You can do Trigger, Focus Helmet, you can do Arcanist Brand, you can do Bane, you can do Kataba's Thirst. There's a lot of ways to do it. I think I probably will not do Kataba's Thirst, but it will definitely be a pretty good early game option at least. So just throw your curses into Kataba's Thirst. But Anathema is a pretty rare item, so I'm not really expecting to get this anywhere on like day 1, day 2. It'd probably be an SF. It might even take me like a week to find this, honestly. Trade League, it's definitely findable. Definitely can buy it a couple days in, but really, really good item for endgame min-maxing. 4 curses is going to be really, really good. I think Foible is pretty hard to beat as your amulet slot. Foible is going to be really, really good. There's going to be a really good... this league, you have the Belt Implicit. That's going to allow you to have 2 Anoints. If you want to go for Suppression, that'll be a pretty good way to get Suppression. But even with Block, if you want to just go like Whirling Barrier and then just anoint another block node, just have a bunch of block from that. Going to be so many options this league from the additional Anoint that we get. And it's pretty much all I want to talk about the tree currently. All the Archmage trees kind of look similar, to be honest with you. Instant Leech and ES Leech is kind of non-negotiable. These items are just way too good not to go for, honestly. Getting some ES Leech and having some ES is really, really good. You get a lot of ES from Sanctum of Thought, or Sanctuary of Thought, so kind of can't really get away from this. Instant Leech is so strong. Getting a Velocos early on for some Lightning Leech will be really good as well. This is a pretty common unique item.
Hey guys, it's Ray, and finally we got a new league in PoE 1 called Mirage, and I'm really happy that I'm recording this video after a long break. So in this video I will share with you the best starters in my opinion for this league. So don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment about the starter you're planning to play, and subscribe if you haven't. The quick words on the overall meta: not much has changed since the last league, except that now in my opinion slammers are not the best choice for softcore anymore, but they're still really good in hardcore. Also in 328 the new league mechanic is focused mostly
ride or die. How's it going, Ride? Oh, Arrow's going Holy Flame, is he? Okay, Holy Flame.
328's gonna be the best league ever.
I quite like Arrow.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about my league starter for 328, Holy Flame Totem Hierophant. Let's get right into it. So why am I playing Holy Flame Totem? Everybody that's coming into my stream while I'm testing is saying things like, Holy Flame Totem, what are you going to play in the end game? So I usually just show them this footage.
Okay. Oh. Shit.
The truth is, Holy Flame Totem's always been a pretty cool skill, but since the removal of the alt quality version, it's been difficult to get enough projectiles for it to feel worth playing. Well, Grinding Gear Games has blessed us with a massive buff to the skill, and then a generic buff to totems to go alongside of it. So let's jump into what is exciting about Holy Flame Totem right now. Number one, we've got proj scaling built into the gem. Holy Flame Totem used to have 3 projectiles at all levels, and now it has 6 at level 20. But it's not just 6 flat projectiles, it scales from 3 to 6 from levels 1 to 20, which usually means with gem levels, you'll get even more. My estimate is we're going to be able to get somewhere between 7 and 9 projectiles on this skill in the end game. That is a hilarious amount of screen coverage. Let's jump in game and look at what it looks like. So let's just do a quick little showcase of what Holy Flame Totem looks like with just quality and no extra projectiles. So this is regular quality, which is decent, but it's going to feel a lot better once you get some projectiles on it. So this is what it will look like, probably around level 21 with our existing number of projectiles. So that's 7 proj. That feels pretty darn good, especially for one totem. So as you're running through maps, as you can see here, you get pretty good coverage. Don't want to fight you right now. One of the ways you're going to be able to make this build significantly stronger is adding an Ashes of the Stars. Ashes is going to give us even more projectile speed, and that projectile speed is going to make our coverage look something more like this. This is probably not the Holy Flame Totem you've seen before, but when you add this level of proj speed and projectiles, which was really difficult to get before, you start to get a skill that looks like it can clear pretty well in the end game. So that proj speed can scale even higher. Ultimately, you're going to need a lot of proj speed for the true giga end game of this build, which is actually not in my max roll guide, except for just a footnote, because this is not mandatory. However, if you are looking to push this build far, which I think once you start playing it, you will want to, you can go and get yourself a Nimbus ring. This is a footnote in the guide because it is not mandatory to do any of the content in the game. But if you really want to push your build to the next level, this is the way to do it. The Nimbus is going to give you return projectiles, which doubles our damage because we're going to get an additional hit, and then projectiles are fired in random directions. So you're going to want to go and get a rain of splinters, as well as get a little bit more proj speed, which we can get on clusters pretty easily. And then your clear will look something like this.
Right.
I've played this build before, and it is a worse version of what we are capable of making now. I'm super excited about the potential, and I think it's going to make a great league starter. So let's get back into all of the reasons why Holy Flame Totem is a worthy league starter. So we talked about the projectile giga buff that we got. Let's talk about the next reason. Totems have always had a slow, clunky placement to them that takes about 2/3 of a second, thanks to Toddy and Local Identity doing some testing on this. There is a 2/3 of a second time where the totem emerges from the ground. That is not your placement speed. That is not the totem's cast speed. That is just a mandatory built-in 2/3 of a second clunk that makes totems feel further away from regular self-cast.
Is this what you're going with?
However, in patch 328, Grinding Gear Games has decided to buff the emerge time in a way that's never existed before. Placement speed will now also scale the emerge speed. Now, I don't know exactly how this is going to work. And Toddy's video goes through in great detail how this functions, and I'll link his video down in the description. But basically, we're going to probably be getting double the speed of the totems coming out of the ground, making for a significantly smoother playstyle. On bosses, you're probably not going to see too much of a damage buff from this, other than the fact that every time you place a totem, you won't have that lost DPS time.
Nice.
But while mapping, this will feel
What do you usually
unbelievable. The reason self-cast feels so good is because you press button, spell goes out. But with totems, you have the placement time, you have the emerge time, and then there's the cast time. Holy Flame totems already have an incredibly high cast speed. They hit a bunch of times per second by default. So that first cast already comes out quick. But now, the Hierophant's placement speed that is built
going on. I
into
keep
the
forgetting to look at
Ascendancy, those totems are going to be cruising.
We're all good. How
You're
are you
really
doing?
going to feel like you're cruising. The third new buff that we got this league is not directly to Holy Flame totems, but it's actually to Arcane Surge scaling. Arcane Surge normally gives 20% cast speed and 30% mana regen. The Hierophant Ascendancy also gives 20% more damage,
Usually
which scales with Arcane Surge effect. This makes Arcane Surge worth scaling. And now we're getting a new rune graft, which says Arcane Surge also grants 15% increased life regeneration rate. This is a more multiplier on your life regen. So if you have 1,000 regen and you get 100% increased life regeneration rate, you'll have 2,000 regen. Why is this exciting? Because the language of this rune graft says that Arcane Surge grants the life regen, which means it scales with Arcane Surge effect. We get somewhere between 200 and 300% Arcane Surge effect in this build. We really don't have to do too much. So that means this one rune graft will give us somewhere between 45% and 60% increased life regen. 60% increased life regen is 3 suffixes on gear. These tier 1 suffixes appear on boots, helmets, and gloves, I believe, and they go up to about 20%. This is an incredibly sought-after stat if regen is your primary scaler of recovery, which ours is. With totems, you can't really leech, so that leaves regeneration as our main source of recovery. And boy, do we recover. So we're getting a bunch of extra projectiles. Our placement speed is now becoming our... So we are getting a bunch of extra projectiles. Our totem placement speed is now scaling our emerge speed, which was never available before. And now we are getting a bunch of extra life regen for 1 extra point on the tree. So aside from these new buffs, what are the reasons that you might want to play something like Holy Flame Totem? Well, Holy Flame Totem has really nice base damage because it hits 4 times per second. So the number looks small when it comes to flat damage on the gem, but it hits so often and it just looks like a beam of damage. So many people don't even know that Holy Flame Totems are projectile based. They just assume it's some sort of like damage over time thing. These are all individual projectiles that cast at 0.25 per second. So with cast speed, you're hitting a ton. Totems are super cozy. You don't have to aim. You can just put them down, run around in circles. And the Holy Flame Totem in particular gives you consecrated ground. That consecrated ground makes you immune to curses, as well as giving you 5% life regen per second, which we are getting some new scaling for. Renegade Game said there's going to be a wheel on the tree over on the Templar side. I think we know roughly where it is. That's going to give us consecrated ground scaling. I don't know if that'll be worth taking, but it's something to keep in mind. All of this Arcane Surge scaling not only scales our life regen, but also our mana regen. So lastly, another thing that I generally find about totems is they don't feel super worth investing into after an early league start. However, you really can invest into this build. Obviously, a Nimbus is expensive and it doubles your damage. Most builds don't have access to double damage, but you can also go and get great Flesh and Flames like Pious Path. And then instead of investing into this small amount of armor that we have, you go full into Energy Shield and you get thousands of recovery for both. This is the way I played it the last time I played Holy Flame Totem. It was incredibly cozy. And it was really hard to kill that character. All right, let's jump into the POB and talk a little bit about the way the build scales. So for this POB, keep in mind, I have all of this on max roll. So make sure that you check out the link in the description. It is going to be much easier to follow, especially if you're a new player, than this POB. But the POB does have some of the things that you need in it. It's got some of the leveling trees. It's not step by step, but there are some steps in here. The max roll guide will show you everything.
All right, let's have a look for this audio duking. Let's get it all the way up till we're up here. you know, sound behind me.
Yum! Biddies for the titties!
Bitties for the titty. David.
Yum! Biddies for the
Oh,
titties!
no.
Bitties for the tay-tays! Yum! Biddies for the titties! Bitties for the tay-tays!
Why can I hear that through my...
Yum! Biddies for the titties! Bitties for the tay-tays!
I've not got my sound set up properly on... Hey, Avi. How we doing, brother? What it is, what it is. Big chilling, my dude. Good to see, good to see. How's things treating you, man? $86 bitties for the titties, David. Good, good. Getting ready for the league. Yeah, boy. My shopping done, been designated. Designing. Oh, hang on. Print tons of new things. Just print while I'm getting. Yes, yes. Okay, oh, no, no work calls, Avi. No work calls. Taking all my big. Give it to me. How you doing, Ride? Yeah, I've been good. I've been good, mate. Got a couple of days off work. I'm trying to decide what league start to go with. I was thinking RF, just to play it safe this league with it. I did the volcanic fisher dinner, but I don't know whether to play it safe or play something a little bit different. What are you starting? You're warm, to be honest. Right. KF Totems is really safe. Bow cooking. Mastery on it. Yes, we've just. Oh, look. Yeah. So this is what you're feeling, the kinetic fusillade. Fusillade.
Hey guys, Popstron here, and today let's talk about what ascendancy to pick for your kinetic fusillade build. This is probably the most requested video and the question I get asked the most because there's a ton of different versions of kinetic fusillade out there.
I'm gonna blow up the whole screen.
And in this video, I'll go over some general ascendancy tips, but then I'm gonna hone in on my two guides after because those are the ones I've done the most.
If you want something safe,
shout out to Alcohol, who has a Warden self-cast version, and also Tatiantel, who will play Hierophant Ballista version, but on hard.
So the kinetic fusillade, you cast it and then you click something else to add more damage to the projectiles. Am I wrong? Or get this. You put it on totems, right? I'm listening. I'm listening. Oh, hang on. Got a phone call. 2 seconds. Sorry, chat. Work. Right. Okay. So let me go back. You look like you would kill as a lumberjack. Thank you ever so much. So you just drop totems and move. If you stack enough, reduce skill effect duration. Hey, I used to play New World, and I've cut down way too many trees to ever do it again. Kinetic Fuse Laser's projectile attack skill. Each attack creates a hovering energy projectile that follows you. After not creating any more projectiles for duration, all the hovering projectiles are released and fly toward a nearby enemy. Deal damage on impact, which can chain to nearby enemies. This skill works similar to Ember Fusillade in Path. Yeah. I wasn't sure if you had to. Was it Parada? He was doing like a Fusillade build, and it was literally just shotgunning. Deals more damage, proj fired. Thank you for coming in, Wemby. Let me give you a follow. Oh God, now what have I done? Chase follow as well. Chase on Twitch. Let's go. I'm conflicted. Go back. How do I get this off? Can't see the chat now. Pop this thing up. How the hell do I get rid of this? Aha, there we go. Right, the building free share had 100% spell support and max blocks, so it's pretty tanky for a little investment. Cheers, Omo. Appreciate you, brother. Not sure Plastron worked it to its hero version or not.
Hardcore SSF. So check those creators out. I'll link both their guides down below in the description. Now, first up, I will outline the two guides that I made about Hierophant and Champion, also both down below in the description, and what I think about them, because these are the ones I've actually played. All the other ones we're going to talk about a little bit more experimental later in the video. If I had to give you a TLDR at the start, Hierophant is kind of for everybody. Champion is extremely interesting for people who are fast, who know what they're doing, who know exactly, who prep. Champion can be extremely efficient and extremely fast. Now, the ascendancy I'm going to choose is Hierophant. I'll play this on League Start, and the biggest reason for that is the placement speed. So you get 140% placement speed from Hierophant itself, and placement speed just got buffed to also skill how fast totems emerge. This is overall a buff once you have like 50-ish or so placement speed, and this build can get well above 200% if you're really stretching it. This should get totems a lot closer to
It was
self-cast
right.
in
He was
terms of
giving you a
feel,
shout
and
out.
the damage delay is going to be significantly lower. At least that's the hope. The second thing is
a mod. Gives everybody a shout out.
On your attack speed, whereas the duelist version,
I've given you a
always
follow
has
as
a
well.
ton of
We
attack
always
speed, and
follow
you have
back.
to make up for that, and in endgame you even have to use 2 pieces with the reduced duration. On the Hierophant version, it's a little bit different. Your attack speed is lower, but like you're just in the clear.
I've not played RF. No.
Chill. You don't really have to think about
the last one I did was
Usually
the
you will not ever have your whole attack speed versus reduced duration.
the
thing
volcanic
ruined unless you do
snaking,
something very, very wrong.
fissures of
The next one is
snaking.
huge compared to champion, which is you're on the top side of the tree and you have easy access to intelligence. This is huge if you don't want to micromanage or you don't really know where to get all your in from. But if you look at some of these ones, they
Oh
take
mate,
well
it was
over
so good.
200 in.
Oh, it was
Now,
so
perfect
good.
case scenario, you would
It was
take the
just
kinetic one, which is 188,
auto,
which is more achievable.
just
but if you, for
it
example,
was
trade
so
and you
good.
see a good wand and it takes like
Ride is the
230 hits,
lurking mod. He is
and
indeed.
You can't buy it, and you have to, I don't know, spend a few
He is a
coins
lovely
extra
man.
just for the reduced attribute requirement. It makes you a lot less.
Not a stream goes by. Not a day goes by where I don't talk to Ride.
That is still -1 jewel socket, and you lose a lot of decks with your mage bin.
Thank you,
After that,
Davey.
easy
Davey as
mana
well is my
recovery.
other
If you
mod.
look right here, mana
And
region is 143
my
per second.
inspiration at
The
times
reason
when I
for
need
that
it.
is Ritual of Awakening. You get increased mana region. That's a base mana region. Per second.
This
per
is what
totem,
I'm
you have 7
thinking.
totems. So
Dad
yeah,
gamer
it's
friendly.
you never have to think about, I don't know, should I go life tap? Should I go minus mana? If you, for example, look at the champion version of the build, you'll see
Chase
that
was
often
saying
have
that his
life
mate
tap in
had
here,
to
and sometimes minus mana.
dump a
When I
hell
first
of a
started
lot of
off with
currency
minus
into
mana,
it end game,
and
but
have like a
obviously it's
mixture.
not gonna.
Now, true, you can
I'm
now
probably
get a level
I'm more
1 life tap as
content
your
at just
7th link
blasting
from the
maps
new
rather than
currencies, but how easy is that
fighting
really to
bosses.
get? Might be a shit show, might be extremely hard, so we'll have to see. But
Just
in
sitting
general,
ultimatums and make a bunch of
Hero
money.
is just way more versatile when it comes to mana. Now, one of Hero's
Cheers, Rad.
downsides
Appreciate it,
is
brother.
defense in roundabout early to mid game when you're entering maps into red maps for the first time. Before you get to Aegis, you will see right here that I have a lot of armor gear and a lot of Molten Shell skilling. But if you take off Molten Shell, and whenever Molten Shell is off, it is not looking all that great, right? So
Was the perfect video. It's a Boa Wand League for KB for speed mapping. I'm just gonna. My keyboard just adds. You can play this build and chat with people. Yeah. Some map showcase.
All right, hello everyone, it's Spicy Sushi. So another league start means another league starter compendium. This one is a little bit different from usual since we basically
Sushi always
got
have the
an
same
entire in-game revamp. T17s are
intro
no longer
text.
like the pinnacle
There's-
mapping in-game. So we're actually back to a pretty even playing field where you can really have a lot of flexibility in what you want to play. Obviously, you should always do what you find fun because that's what's important, but let's be real, it really wasn't fun to do a T17 Fortress with like 5
Shit, it's 2
FPS.
o'clock.
So now that mostly everything is going to
Picking
be
my son up in
T16 focused,
half an
I think
hour.
every build is really in a
Thank
A
you.
to B range this time. Last league in keepers, I decided to rank builds based on how
It's
I think they would
mapping league,
perform
I
in
make a
league
bosser.
mechanic. This
None of
was
those
back when I
wonders
assumed
want
that
a
breach
bosser.
monsters might actually
That's
be a little
right,
bit
the Holy
difficult,
Stones
like
carries
tanky
so
or
much.
do a lot of
Okay.
damage, but they ended up being just a massive pushover, so these rankings were pretty arbitrary. This time with Mirage, it's a little bit more complicated because it really is a build your own.
Might be
league
tapping you
mechanic,
up
since
for
the
a
way
carry
Mirage
then.
works is it'll basically dupe whatever you're doing. So instead of just one big boom expedition encounter, you'll actually get 2 in your map, and instead of just 1 legion in a certain part, you'll get 2 of that legion. With this in mind, I decided to
What
rank
do you think it
starters
comes
in a
off
pretty
better,
simple way
bow
this time,
or
and also
wand?
provide like 1 to 2 league mechanics that I think a particular build will excel at. For example, a build with really solid explosions or, you know, poison proliferation, etc., will be a
Stones on
solid
bows
choice
pretty
for
easy.
big boom expedition. While a build like Lightning Arrow is obviously going to be
Alright,
a
I'm going
top-tier
bows.
choice for Legion or Breach. So some general guidelines is
I've
anything
gone-
in A tier.
I've gone about 8 different builds, league stats.
Very low budget. It's not going to take a
3
lot
weeks
of
and it was Maven voice.
It's not going to be completely made
bloody
of
hell,
paper or
okay.
just fall over. A solid build overall. Now builds in B+ tier are not really much behind that. Like they're going to be able to get 5 mil, obviously. But it may take a little bit more than just, you know, some rares equipped. You might need a sizable budget, and builds lower than that.
I'm not
are
built
gonna
for
struggle to
hardcore.
reach 5 mil, but are still going to be playable and viable.
I'm too
So,
stupid.
Pretty simple this time. Usually I would
I'm
rank
too
my
stupid
defense,
to play
well-roundedness into the
hardcore.
sheet, but we have a really different in-game landscape this time. It's the first change since Necropolis, really. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in.
I'm not anymore.
By far the most popular league starter, it looks like so far.
My brain's mush now. Like
Fusillade, Ballista,
I'll
champion.
I'll see a TikTok or something on my phone and I forget that I've not paused it or I'm dead.
I'm actually kind of a Ballista enjoyer myself. I've played Palsteron's Explosive Arrow Ballista for many
My first
weeks, and that
hardcore
was
attempt
way
in
clunkier
PoE
than
2.
KF,
I
but
got
it was still a
level
very chill
9.
playstyle that I do enjoy a lot. Typically with KF, you have to build potentially multiple uniques with less duration, but since totems have a built-in less attack speed multiplier, you really only need a warp strike piece, and the rest of your build can be just life and res rares. Also, now that totem placement speed
Does it
scales
demand
your
quite a lot
urge
of
speed, totems should feel a lot more
uniques?
responsive and faster. Instead of
Maybe
placing your
LEM.
ballistas, then running to the next pack while waiting for
Reaction
the
time.
next pack to die, you should be
We're
seeing
getting
packs
old.
die
I was
almost
40
immediately
2 days ago.
And, the reason I've got KF on the top of my
balloons.
list is because it's probably the most well-rounded
The
starter for
40th
this
balloons are
league.
still up there.
I will say, if you want to focus on
Man,
mechanics like
sun's
Legion,
blinding me as well,
bossing,
man.
Expedition, I would definitely look at other builds that excel in those mechanics. But if you're looking for like a
curve
super
ballast,
easy short
ballistas
stone,
and one,
and a
but
chill
technically,
build, solid at a variety of league
let's get it out with
mechanics,
some
this is
lot.
definitely
But
one
there's
of
some
your best
investments you can
options.
make that
I
make
will say
mapping
it's not
better
gonna be
later on.
super tanky, but most starters
Okay.
on this list aren't, since it's not like you have to do T17s anymore to make a lot of currency. You can focus on exactly what you want. And this build is going to be able to push 10 to 20 million DPS very early on, and it's going to feel really durable at the same time. Now, Lightning Arrow and Kinetic Blast Deadeye. As usual, there's not really much to say here. If you're following a Fub Gun build, you are looking to be blasting maps, specifically with Legion and probably some Breach this time. There really aren't any other starters that can
See, this is
compete
where I
with
do
these
get my
builds for
fun
Legion.
from these
And since
games. It
Legion
is
is probably
blasting
gonna be
map
really
rather
solid
than
again this
botting.
league, since it'll be a primary source of early 6 links in the league, these starters are going to be really popular. You get decent DPS, low
I do say, like, I'm a
survivability, but
mindless mapper.
absolutely
I
insane
will
clear
just
speed. Not much else to say. Ele hit
keep
Slayer.
mapping.
So elemental hit is basically
You really
the
only
result
need
of
like
every
1 to 2
strike
divine
field
cliff
being
or
nerfed
stone.
out of
Okay.
existence,
See, I've
or
not
just
done
plain
1 stone
horrible on a
ever
budget.
on
So the
PoE 1,
last
so
bastion for strikes is now elemental hit. Slayer
wanna-
is just an incredible ascendancy for league start. You get solid max hit from
I wanna do
fortify
this
and
properly
endurance
this league.
charges, and the best recovery in the game by far for league starters with Overleech. Slayer is by far my
Make the
favorite
whole game
ascendancy in
minimal
the game.
unique.
If you've never played
Yeah,
one, you
okay,
definitely
okay.
should at some point. And I'm really hoping the new static strike of Gathering Lightning is overpowered so we can see a
Look
return
at that, it looks
to the
fucking
golden
ace on the
age.
screen,
But
doesn't
Ele
it?
hit is
Visually
still decent,
pleasing.
and it is a solid option. Just make sure that you watch some
I'm gonna
two-stone
clear your own
runs on
stones and
YouTube
not
so you know what
buy
you're getting
carries,
into,
and I would
because
honestly
it's definitely
just
not
KF
Lightning Strike. Now,
totems.
Smite or
Okay.
Lightning Strike of Arcing are both solid pivots once you have a larger budget, but if you're wanting to go into the league with strikes, Elemental Hit is probably the best option that we have right now, unless Static Strike ends up being insane.
What is
Poison
going on?
concoction of bouncing still looks solid and a good
Pretty sure.
Good day guys, Tadi here, and this is Kinetic Fusilide's Ballista Totem build guides for the upcoming 3.28 Mirage League in Path Exile 1.
Mirage.
So this is gonna be my league starts. Personally, I will be playing that on league starts on Soul Self-Found Hardcore.
The third one
and
down.
It's gonna be
Hey guys, Paulstrong here, and today let's talk about my league starter for patch 3.28, which will be a kinetic fusillade ballista hero fin. So last league we had a wand rework with most of the eyes being on kinetic blast of clustering and a lot of these strong mana stack options. But one of the skills released that was kind of lost in this mist of hype for mana stacker wander was definitely kinetic fusillade. And don't get me wrong, this skill was already played by people like Tatiante on the totem version or Locoho on the self-cast version, but it really started to develop during Frisha, the last event, where I also tried it as a league starter on a ballista version.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to. This was a test stream and it's turned into just a watching YouTube stream. I did come on to try and sort my sounds out. Oh, there we go. It might work now, actually.
Really have any time to
How you doing, man?
And while the self-cast versions have to use a lot of different jewelry, like for example warp timepiece or time clasp, the totem version has a little bit of an advantage because it starts with 50% less attack speed on the ballista gem. Not only does that mean that you don't have to reduce your duration as much as on the self-cast skill and you save your jewelry slots, it also means you can run secondary skills.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. You've been keeping well, mate.
Without reducing the duration to almost 0 and rendering them unplayable. In this video, I'll go through
the league start stream. Absolutely.
Kinetic fusillade mechanics, wide totems, damage and defenses, the ascendancy, and then early maps, later maps, and up to end game progression. Few quickies at the start. Every single minute of this build, I will be live streaming over on twitch.tv/Palstron throughout the whole first week at least. There is also a Maxroll written guide out.
Be interesting to see
have everything in this video, but in written form,
how quick it
Control F or jump around or anything
the
like
last
that.
PoE 2 league, obviously because I play on my PlayStation.
And a lot of small things that we haven't explored yet. I will also
it took an hour for even 24-hour streams. Oh god!
Before the league, maybe some
I don't think I've even got 12 hours in me, mate.
And then all the POBs are down below in the description. Do note though that these will change over time, so definitely come back before league start to get the updated versions. I'll most likely just put all these in the doc, which will also be
thank you, Ride. Giving them shout outs. I need to get this. This is what I wanted to get set up today as well. My stream deck. Well,
need to understand it. Now,
it's called a Zoom phone.
Like breakpoints. I'll clear this all up, and it is not as punishing.
It's done nothing but collect dust
as it is, for example, on the
and be unplugged.
So bear with me. Now, kinetic fusillade charges up projectiles that get released after delay up to 12 max.
Yeah, so this is what Chase was saying.
A ton of attack speed,
exactly.
Attack, projectile, duration, and AoE. So the idea is whenever I attack, I get one projectile that will then get charged up, and after a duration, it gets released. And whenever it connects with something, it makes an AoE. And as you can see right here, it can also chain up to 3 times. Importantly, this skill gets more and more damage the more hovering projectiles you have in your chain. So for example, if I charged up for longer and then are released, all of these get a mighty damage multiplier.
You can add sounds in that again.
Projectiles. So for example, if I put greater volley in here, you can see just from one click, I get
it just wasn't.
Now, problem with this is who the hell wants to play like this? Charge up, then have to wait. I definitely don't. There is a way to make it look like this though.
That's better. Look at that.
It will constantly release and release and release. The way this works is the skill has a delay. It says right here, base duration is 0.7 seconds. Now on top of that, there is also a inbuilt duration per projectile, which you can see on the PoEDB, and I'll show it right here. Per projectile that you would fire, there is an extra 0.5 seconds delay right here, which at 6 projectiles, which is our normal with greater volley, adding 4 additional, the projectile you start with, and then also the projectile from the Want Mastery.
How you doing?
Right here, we go for a total of 6 projectiles. So that means the inbuilt 0.7 and 0.3 is a 1 second total. Now the rule is your attack time has to be higher. So that means you have to.
What are you playing?
Than the duration of kinetic fusillade, which means instant release. Because if your attacks are too fast, before the projectiles can release, it adds new ones on top, and you're stuck in an infinite loop. So, for example, if I remove
I'm going to have to get off the quarter past.
It will never release. I actually have to let go of my mouse, which is a very
about a 10-minute walk
and not very fun playstyle. But once I get less duration, I can just stand still and keep attacking. So in total, what you can remember is that the more attack speed you scale,
sorting the stream out, ready for Friday, so I don't have to do anything.
I'll show you in a second, but Just real quickly,
and
where do you actually get your reduced
watching a
duration
load
from?
of
The
videos.
most important one is the
League start video, league start stream. It's exactly what it's going to be. League start stream.
Quality on, for example, even in lab, if you
blind.
get some
Christ,
quality,
that sun is
that's already a big
blinding.
deal. And the second big source is the
Makes a
windows of
change. We haven't had
opportunity cluster, where you
some
get
nice sun
15%
for a
reduced
while.
skill effect duration here, and a total of 10% from the small nodes, as well as 10% less from the mastery. Now, this is enough for most of the game and should be enough to get you to 2 stones at least, but later you want one of the following here and only one. You don't want to overdo it because you're also using secondary gems, which we'll talk about later.
Right. I am going to call it there, dudes. I will catch you all in the login. I will be about tonight. And do a bit of testing. I think you're right, Avi. I think this kinetic fusillade might be the way. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Later, dudes. Thank you all for coming in. I know it was only a test stream. It's only been an hour. I will be on tonight. Just getting things sorted again. Love you all. Bye.